Hi, welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today, during a therapy session, I had this realization about narcissistic abuse that really powerfully resonated with my client. We compared terrorism with narcissistic abuse. And because it went so well in my therapy session, I wanted to share it with you guys. The thought that I have is terrorism is so powerfully effective because it is harmful, dangerous, specifically organized events that are meant to scare people, to make them not feel safe, to make them always wonder that there is a potential for something bad that's going to happen. And when a terrorist can create that type of anxiety and fear in the people that they want to control, then they feel unsafe. They feel unprotected. And when you feel unsafe and unprotected, and you witness atrocities, whether it is an explosion, or whether it's a cyber attack, or whether it's physical or military action, and it's indiscriminate, and it comes out of nowhere, then you feel unsafe in your world. You feel that the people that are supposed to protect you cannot, because the police, our government, our friends, our lovers, the people we depend on to protect us, can't be with us all the time. And when the terrorist inculcates this belief of instability and the imminence of harm, then they control us. They control our feelings. They control our actions. They control our relationships. And a country, a city, a community that is besieged by terrorism is a country, is a group of people who are frozen in fear. And frozen in fear gives all the control to the terrorist. So I came to understand that narcissistic abuse, especially by malignant narcissists, covert narcissists, not as much, but covert narcissists can, especially when you try to take their mask off, or the pathological narcissists with ASPD, or antisocial personality disorder, or who are psychopaths. They want to get what is important to them. And with antisocial personality traits, they will do whatever they can in order to control people in a way to maximize the opportunity to get what they want. Because this group of pathological narcissists lack empathy or have limited empathy, they have no problem, or with ease, they will plan terroristic events that will hurt, kill, maim, physically and psychologically, individuals or scores of individuals in order to inculcate the terror and the fear. So as a pathological narcissist who wants to dominate a relationship, who is the ASPD, who is the malignant narcissist, and they believe that they are going to control this person or this relationship, they have to make that their victim, their partner, afraid that at any moment something horrible can happen. And once the SLD, the codependent, is terrified that they're not safe, that there's always an opportunity for something bad to happen, that in a moment's notice, they can be emotionally, physically, or even sexually injured it changes the landscape of their life. They start to shrink emotionally. They start to shrink intellectually. They start to feel like they're alone, that no one can help them. They start to believe that they're never going to be happy, they're never going to be safe. And every moment of their life is potentially filled with anxiety and dread. The narcissist, what I now call the narcissist terrorist, new term, when they can inculcate that type of fear, then they have total control of that person. That sense of powerlessness is the heart and the soul of their diabolical, malignant narcissism or sociopathy. So when we think of these countries who succumb to terrorism, who don't stand up to terrorism, who negotiate with terrorists, and I have to say, I respect greatly the United States government's position on terrorism. We don't negotiate with terrorists because they know if you negotiate with terrorists, you embolden them, you make them stronger, and you make yourself weaker, and you then shrink.
When our citizens are abused or attacked anywhere in the world on the direct orders of a hostile regime, we will respond so long as I'm in this Oval Office. Self-defense is not only our right, it is our duty. We tried quiet diplomacy, public condemnation, economic sanctions, and demonstrations of military force. None succeeded. Despite our repeated warnings, Gaddafi continued his reckless policy of intimidation, his relentless pursuit of terror. He counted on America to be passive. He counted wrong. I have no illusion that tonight's action will ring down the curtain on Gaddafi's reign of terror. But this mission, violent though it was, can bring closer a safer and more secure world for decent men and women. We will persevere. I warned that there should be no place on earth where terrorists can rest and train and practice their deadly skills. I meant it. I said that we would act with others if possible and alone if necessary to ensure that terrorists have no sanctuary anywhere. Tonight, we have. Thank you, and God bless you.
Well, I say to you guys, don't negotiate with these narcissistic terrorists, this narcissistic abuse, terrorism, because as scary as it is to not back down, to stand your ground, to seek protection, they lose their control. Yes, there's risks. My gosh, there are risks, big risks, when you stand up to a terrorist narcissist, because there's a high probability you're going to get hurt. It takes their power away, because then their method of intimidation or terrorism, it doesn't work anymore. And they might have to move on to another person or try something that is maybe less harmful. It's the same psychological dynamic that almost always plays out when I would talk to my son when he was a kid about bullies. Bullies are cowards. Bullies require the inculcation of fear and the necessity to make the person to whom they're trying to bully feel powerless and weak. That emboldens the bully and gives the bully all their power. I know you're not going to believe this, and I promise it's true. When I was a kid, I was really unpopular, and I was mercilessly bullied in school, all the way up to high school. What happened, I froze. I never fought back, because I always thought if I fought back, it would be much worse. I used to have dreams of being frozen in fights. I can go back and remember specific dreams in my teenage years where I would fight back, and no matter how much I hit someone, it was like it never hurt them. Though that bully, like these narcissistic terrorists, once they inculcate not only the thoughts of powerlessness, but they get into you, they get into your mind, and they get into your dreams, and you feel unconsciously and consciously powerless. That promotes the human magnet syndrome version of the SLD and the narcissist. You fall in love with one of those guys and you're an SLD, that makes a very, very sad future, because not only does the narcissism and the self-love deficit disorder or codependency bring you guys together, it's the fear of being hurt and not being able to defend yourself. It's the fear of being powerless. It's the fear of not knowing when the proverbial stuff's going to hit the fan. And that keeps you always on edge and always in a position to back down quickly if you think you're going to upset the narcissist. Because the narcissist terrorist is not like your garden variety bully who gets mad and says and starts yelling or pushing you, hitting you, being passive aggressive. No. The narcissist terrorist will wait for times when you're not ready. They will calculate the most damage that could happen by catching you off guard. A week later, 2 days later, you find out that your car tires are flat, and they remind you that they have the power over you, and if you should ever cross them again, something bad will happen. But all you did to deserve those flat tires is you challenged them. Or the narcissist terrorist who will take out their rage for you not giving them something. Say you didn't give your narcissist sex when they wanted it, or money for that part. Next thing you know, they don't pick up the kids at camp. And you get a call from the school saying, what's going on? Your kids are at camp. And you lose a day of work because you have to take off work and drive 60 miles to pick the kids up at camp. It came out of nowhere. Everyone is hurt. It was a metaphorical explosion with shrapnel embedded in you. And you get enough pieces of that shrapnel, that psychological shrapnel in you, you walk around scared all the time, in shell shock, PTSD, that if you do one thing that challenges the narcissist, something bad's going to happen and you're not going to know where. So, if you can identify with this this narcissistic terrorism, and you live with one of these despicable people, I say to you, I beseech you to understand that all of the power they have is to make you feel unsafe in your unpredictable world where people can't see the person hurting you or protect you. As scary as this is going to be, shine a light on these guys. Call the police. Yes, there is a risk. There is a risk when you say, I'm not negotiating with terrorists. But what happens is they can't scare people to the point of freezing and shrinking into their self-love deficit disorder. The way that we solve this, the way that we break free from narcissistic abusers, especially the ones who are gaslighters or narcissist terrorists, is we have to remember our courage that was taken away from us a long time ago. And if you never had it to begin with, then it's time for you to discover it. And courage comes risk and harm. But if you believe in it and you work through it, even some of the most difficult consequences for standing up to yourself, you're going to heal. And the narcissist goes away. In some cases, gets arrested and goes to jail, or just shrinks and slinks back or slithers into the shadows of their life, where they will find other people that twist their reality and their mind and to conquer their spirit, to conquer their happiness, and to siphon off their life's energy. Not you. So, don't negotiate with terrorists. I hope this video helped you, and I look forward to reading your views. And please, if you like this video, please subscribe. I believe there is a little box down here or down there. I always forget which way. And check out my materials and products and educational resources at selfloverecovery.com. Thanks. Goodbye.